Hey, what's up, guys? Good to be back with you again here, and welcome back to 1949. And we have a game for you today between the front-running New York Yankees and the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox are pretty far down. Yankees, it'll tell us here in a second, are 11-4. White Sox are 5-10. Bill White will start this one off for the White Sox, and he throws a strike in there to Phil Rizzuto. Rizzuto, the next pitch, swings and hits one over to Baker. Third, throws the first for the out. That's one away. Here's Tommy Henrik. Henrik takes a strike and takes one high and inside for a ball. 1-1. That's outside for a ball. It's 2-1. And there's one below the knees. 3-1 the count. There's a fastball too high, and there's a walk, and the Yankees have a runner on first base already, top of the first inning. And here is Cliff Mapes, who takes the ball in the dirt. 1-0 the count on Mapes, and that one's inside. It's 2-0 now. And there's one foul back. 2-1 now the count on Cliff Mapes, and that one's in tight for ball 3. And Mapes fouls that one back for a full count. And then he hits one down to Adams, the center fielder, who makes the catch. 2 away now, and here's Gene Woodling. Let's see if the White Sox can get out of this. Woodling takes a ball, and then a fastball on the outside edge for a strike. 1-1 the count now on Gene. And he got a little bit jammed, fouled that one off. 1-2 the count now. And there was a high curve ball, didn't really curve, 2-2. There was one wide, and it's a full count now on Woodling. And that one's fouled back, still a full count. And there's a comebacker over off the glove of White, reaches back for it, tries to grab it, can't get a hold of it. Everybody's safe, and that's an error that might come back. That one might come back to haunt the White Sox. Let's see what happens here. Top of the first inning now, and we have runners on first and second for the Yankees with 2 outs, and Jerry Coleman's going to come up. I think Coleman still has his hitting streak alive. We're going to figure that out here in a second. Pretty bad play once again by the White Sox, and we've been accustomed to those over the last little while. We've had quite a few poor plays from them recently. Jerry Coleman does have a 13-game hitting streak going. He takes a ball. And then he hits a little looper over to Philly, who is in right field. Philly, though, is able to go back, make the catch on that one, or go in, rather, make the catch on that one with a big dive. And that is the third out that retires the side. And that will send us here to the bottom of the first inning. And the Yankees are going to put out Fred Sanford here to pitch. And here comes Gus Zernial. Zernial, as we know, if you... well, we'll find out this out later, but he's about to be traded to Boston. If I remember, I'm sorry. It's actually he stays with the White Sox. It's what's his name? It starts with a Z on the Browns who gets traded. My mistake. 2-2 now. The count on Gus. This is what happens when you try to coach every team. You get a little confused. There's a little ground ball over to Coleman at second base. Throws the first for the out. 1 away. And here's Herb Adams. Adams chops that one foul. 0-1 the count on him. And there's one fouled away the plate. 0-2 now on Adams. And that's a foul ball. Still 0-2. And he swung and missed at that one, and he's gone. 2 away, and here's Gordon Goldsberry. Takes a ball and takes a strike. 1-1. Gordon, rather, not Golden. Gordon Goldsberry. Hard to read if you look at that really quickly. And he gets a nice level swing on that one, sends that one to center field for a base hit. First hit of the ball game. That brings up Don Wheeler, who takes the ball off the plate. Wheeler hitting .353, hitting well. One of the few White Sox to hit well so far. It has a 2-0 count on him now. That one's hit hard but foul. 2-1 now the count on Don. And that's hit over third, and that's for extra bases. And, man, they decide not to send Goldberry in with 2 outs, despite the fact that Woodling is not a great fielder. And so it's the third base coach who makes that decision, as you can see here. And that's kind of a unusual play, we would say. We'll see if that hurts us or not. Here's Cass Michaels, of course, one of the big heroes of the replay and big heroes of the blog. 1-1 the count now on Cass. That one's popped up in the air on the left side. Phil Rizzuto under that one makes the catch. We go to the top of the second. Boy, I tell you, the White Sox, if they want to win this game, they need to be taking a few more chances than that. 1-1 the count now on Hank Bauer, and it's 2-1. That one misses outside. There's a ground ball up through the middle, and that's into center field for the base hit. And Bauer now is the runner on first base, and here comes Yogi Berra. There's a breaking ball in there for a strike against Berra. 0-1 the count on him. 1-1 now as that one misses. There's a ground ball over to Michaels, and he throws over to first base for the out. Was not able to flip over to Appling for a potential double play, and I don't know if the runner was going or not. He was not. Just sort of not a great play there, probably by Appling not getting over to the bag on time. 0-2 now the count with 1 out. Bobby Brown up there, 1-2 now. And there's one inside by about a foot, 2-2, and that's a backdoor misses, 3-2, full count. Ground ball over to Appling, and he makes the play. Throws to first for the out. Bauer has to stay a second, but 2 away here is Fred Sanford, who takes a strike. And there's one hit over to the left side of the mound, and it's going to be the third baseman Baker who grabs that, throws over to first for the out. We go to the bottom of the second. Here's Floyd Baker, and he gets a hit into the gap, and that does find the wall. Baker's able to run over to third base with that one, and that is a triple for the White Sox here in the bottom of the second. Out comes Luke Appling with a runner on third base and a good chance to score. Appling hitting only 194, and there's a ball in under the hands. 1-0 the count now on Luke, and he takes the strikes, 1-1. And 2-1 now is the count. And 3-1 as he didn't go on that check swings. 3-1 the count, and he swings and misses. A full count now on Luke. Fouls one back. And there's one high, and Appling is able to get a walk, and that will bring up Dave Philly, hitting 177. Runners on first and second, and there's a ball to him, and a fastball foul back. 1-1 the count. Now it's 2-1. And there's a little ground ball towards short, and this is a question. Do we send Baker or do we not? I think we're not going to send him. Rizzuto gets the grab, throws over to first base. Appling able to move up. That brings up Bill White, the pitcher, with runners on second and third. Only one out, though, and he takes a curveball in there close. 1-0 the count. Now it's 1-1. We'll try to bunt with him. Let's see what happens here. Oh, that was not what we wanted to see happen. So what happened here is White had a little bump up in the air that went right back to the pitcher. And he makes an early throw over to third base, and there was no way that Baker could recover from that one. So it was a little bit of trickery, and that was probably a poor decision on my part to actually go for that. I thought it might be interesting. I thought maybe we could catch somebody off guard, and that definitely did not work for the White Sox, and so they waste a golden chance with that double play after the pop-up when we go to the top of the third inning. Here comes Phil Rizzuto again hitting against Bill White, and he takes one high for a ball, and fouls one off. 1-1 the count now on Rizzuto. There's one inside on the scooter for ball 2. 2-1 the count. There's a foul ball, and it's 2-2. And that's off the plate. Full count now on the scooter, and he gets a base hit straight back up the middle, and that brings up Tommy Henrich with a runner on first. This is where it's dangerous for the Yankees because Rizzuto can run. 1-1 is the count on Henrich now, and there's one on the outside edges, 1-2 now, and that's off the plate. 2-2 is the count. And that's hit back to the mound. White takes it, goes to second for one, and then goes to first for the double play. He threw it over to Appling, and then Appling to Goldsberry. 1-6-3 on that double play, and here's Cliff Mapes still hitting in the third spot, though his average is really, really suffering lately. 2-1 is the count now on Cliff, and he hits a little pop fly over to Baker, the third baseman, who makes the play. We go to the bottom of the third. Gus Zernial, who I mistakenly confused with another player with St. Louis. It's a fly ball over to Cliff Mapes in center field for the first out. And here comes Herb Adams. Bottom of the third inning, no score. 1-1 the count now on Adams. That's hit high and deep to left over to Woodling, makes the play, 2 away. And here's Gordon Goldsberry. And he has a little ground ball over to Rizzuto, throws over to first for the out, and we go to the top of the fourth. And this is Gene Woodling up here now, who takes the ball. And there's another one wide, 2-0 the count. And it swings and misses to that one. It's 2-1. That's outside for a ball, 3-1 the count now. He lays off that pitch and takes the walk, and that brings up Jerry Coleman with a runner on first base. Coleman, still with that 13-game hitting streak, is hitting .293, playing quite well. He hits one deep to left center field, and that one will fall for a hit. That brings that to a 14-game hitting streak now, as Zernial was not quite able to get to that one in time, and the Yankees now have runners on the corners with nobody out, and here comes Hank Bauer, and I think we're going to play this infield back. Let's see what happens. We'll play for 2. There's a ball in there to Bauer, and there's one looped over to shallow center field, and Adams, that is, cannot control that one. That one falls in for a hit, and that ends up scoring the run and sends Gary Coleman to second base, and this is not what the White Sox need to do. The White Sox, if you actually, it's a little bit early because these videos are a bit ahead of where the blog is. It's actually going to take us probably about a month and a half, I think, to get to this point in the blog. But the White Sox, when they played their game yesterday in 1949 time, they committed, I think it was 6 errors against the Senators, including 3 errors in the very first inning. They haven't committed quite as many errors here, only 1 so far, but there's been a lot of really, really poor defensive play, and they really, really got to them there. 1-0 New York. Runners on first and second with nobody out. Here's Yogi Berra, and he has a 1-1 count on him. Berra sneaks one through to center field for a base hit, and here comes Coleman around potentially to score. The throw goes home, and the tag goes down, and Coleman's in there ahead of the throw, and it's 2-0 Yankees, and here comes Bobby Brown. And he hits a little pop fly over to Adams in center field. This time, Adams is able to get to it for the out and is able to hold on to it. And there's one away. And here is Fred Sanford, and he's going to bunt. And we'll play the infield in a little bit here on him. And there's an 0-2 count on him now that he fouled two bunts back. Still 0-2. There's a little bunt over to the first base side. Goldsberry grabs it, tags Sanford coming in, but Berra and Bauer are able to move up. There are 2 outs now, and here comes Phil Rizzuto, who's 1 for 2. And he hits a little ground ball over to Goldsberry, the first baseman, who's able to handle it. Goes over to the bag for the out. We go to the bottom of the 4th, and here is Don Wheeler for the White Sox, who takes a ball. And another ball, 2-0 the count on Wheeler. 3-0 on him now. Wheeler 1 for 1. There's a breaking ball right down the middle, 3-1 the count now, and that one's outside, and he's on with a walk, and that brings up Cass Michaels. Michaels hitting 237, and we could use some of the power that I know that Michaels has, some of his ability to hit for average. Just haven't seen it so far this season. 2-2 is the count now on Michaels. That's fouled away. Still 2-2. There's a little ground ball over to Coleman, the second baseman, flips to Rizzuto for 1, and he takes a big leap over Wheeler, able to throw over to Henrik at first for the double play. That brings up Floyd Baker, nobody on base. 2 outs here, bottom of the 4th, and the count on Baker is 1-1. And it's 1-2 now after that one's fouled off, and Sanford gets the strikeout. So we go to the top of the 5th inning. Here's Tommy Henrik. There's a ball in there to Henrik. 1-0 the count, and another one inside. It's 2-0. There's a little pop fly, and that one gets out of play. 2-1 the count now. And there's a swing and a miss at a fastball. 2-2. And 3-2 is that one just missed. No swing on this, just as the play-by-play told us. But there was a swing there, and there you go. Strike 3. Henrik strikes out, and there's one out here, top of the 5th. Here comes Cliff Mapes, and he hits one through the hole next to first base, 4-base hit. Mapes the runner on first base, and here comes Gene Woodling. Woodling will pop this one up and out of play. 0-1 the count now on Gene, and he swings and misses at that one. It's 0-2. 1-2 now as he laid off a pitch, and then he hits this one deep to center field. Adams goes back and gets it, and there's 2 away. Here's Jerry Coleman. There's a foul ball by Coleman. 0-1 the count. Fouls another one back, and it's 0-2, and he pops this one up. Wheeler, the catcher, is able to take it in for the out. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and here is Luke Appling. 2-0 Yankees as Appling takes a ball. And another ball. 2-0 is the count now on Luke, and there's ball 3. And Luke has had his share of walks so far this season. That's walk number 13 that he's taken. Second walk of the ball game, and that brings up Dave Philly. Appling, 2 plate appearances, 2 walks, so no at-bats so far. Philly takes a ball. Another ball upstairs. 2-0 is the count, and that's cut on miss for a strike. 2-1. And there's one lifted high down the third base line and foul. Rizzuto just not able to get there in time. Not sure why it was Rizzuto and not Brown going after that one. There's one blooped over to left field, and it was a broken bat, little blooper that Woodling's able to track down for the first out. And here comes Bill White. You know we're going to bunt with White. And that one's outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. He does lay this one down, and that is laid down over to Henrik, and it goes so far back that Henrik is able to retreat to the bag to make the play. 2 away, and here comes Gus Zernial. Not something you see every day with a bunt down the first base line where the first baseman is able to go back to the base. So that was a heck of a bunt. 1-1 the count now on Gus, and 2-1 as he lays off that fastball inside and high. And there's a little pop-up, and that one goes over to Coleman for the out. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Here's Hank Bauer. Bauer will foul one back. 0-1 is the count on him, and he pops the next one up, and Cass Michaels has it for the first out. Here comes Yogi Berra. There's a pitch inside for a ball, and a little ground ball then over to Appling. Throws to first for the out. 2 down. Here's Bobby Brown, who takes a ball low. There's one inside. 2-0 the count now on Brown. And he swings on, misses of that one. It's 2-1, and there's one foul back. 2-2 is the count, and there's a swing and a miss, and White gets the strikeout. We'll go now to the bottom of the 6th inning. Fast-paced game by this point. There's Adams, who takes the strike, and then a ball. 1-1 the count now on Adams, and that one's flipped into center field, but Mapes is able to get there on time, and there's one out. And here comes Goldsberry again, who takes the strike, and then a ball. 1-1 the count now on Gordon. And that one's fouled back. It's 1-2, and he went away with that one. Too far away, 2-2 now, and still 2-2 as that one was fouled back. And there is a little pop fly over to the catcher, and Bear is able to grab it. And as it says here, we have a heck of a wind here today, which means that this routine pop-up is not really all that routine. So that's kind of an interesting one for you, but Berra was able to go back and catch that one. We haven't seen the wind really come into play anywhere else. In fact, we'll take a quick look at it. Right to left is 16 miles an hour, so yeah, those little pop-ups will be a little bit hard to handle, but so it is. There's ball 1 to Wheeler, and another strike on him. 1-1 the count here. First batter or 2 outs, rather, in the bottom of the 6th. 2-2 is the count now on Don. And he swings and misses and strikes out, and that does it. We go to the top of the 7th, and it's Fred Sanford up there as the first batter. 1-0 is the count on Fred, and 2-0. Takes 2 quick balls. Swings and misses at 1. It's 2-1 now. And there's a pop-up foul wide of first base and into the seats. 2-2 is the count. Full count now on Stanford as he takes the ball, and he swung at that one. That's strike 3. The third strikeout for White. Rizzuto now takes the ball. 1 ball and no strikes on Phil, and he pokes that one into right field. Good piece of hitting by Phil Rizzuto, and that's a clean little base hit. And here comes Tommy Henrich. And that's what they teach you to do, just put that bat down on that ball. Rizzuto then trying to steal second base, and he's thrown out by a mile by Wheeler, and that's the second out. And now the count on Tommy Henrich is 1-1. And that one's foul tipped into Wheeler's mitt. 1-2 is the count. There's a little ground ball over to Appling. Throws over to first for the out. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. Cass Michaels up there. Takes a fastball for a strike. 0-1. There's one in tight. 1-1 is the count now on Michaels. And there's a curveball wide. It's 2-1 on him. And 3-1 is he's able to take the ball there. It's full count now as he took a strike. Michaels lays off that curveball that's high, and that gives him the walk, and that brings up Floyd Baker with a runner on first base. And I tell you, we need to do something. 1-0 is the count on Baker, and we're going to send Michaels. And unfortunately, it's a swing and a miss by Floyd Baker. Michaels is thrown out stealing. That's what I get for trying. 2-1 is the count on Baker now, and he held up on that one. It's 3-1 on him now. He swings and fouls one back. Full count. Again, another full count. There's a swing and a miss on the strikeout. That's Sanford with his 4th strikeout so far today. 2 outs, and here's Luke Appling. Maybe we shouldn't have been so hasty with Michaels. 2-0 is the count on Appling, and that one is high, 3-0, and there's one high and outside. 3 walks given to Appling today. Sanford has walked 5 and struck out 4, and here comes Dave Philly representing the potential tying run. He takes the ball and then fouls one back. 1-1 is the count on Philly. That one's too high. It's 2-1 on him, and that one's way too high. And let's take this next pitch. And there was no pitch pending. There was a throw to first, and then the pitch does come in full count. And there's one that's bounced high off the plate, and it's over to third base. Brown has it. Throws over to first for the out. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Still 2-0 Yankees. Cliff makes now, and he gets a little hit that goes past the diving Baker by the third base side and is able to stretch that one to a double. It was a good play by Mapes sliding there. He slid around the tag of Michaels, who was there on time. And the Yankees have something to cheer about here in the top of the 8th inning. With a 1-0 count now on Gene Woodling, and it's 1-1 now. Runner on second base, and it's 2-1 now as Woodling made a sign to bunt. 3-1 now as he takes one, and Woodling takes ball 4. Bill White is starting to see his control get the best of him, and there's a little foul ball that's off of Wheeler by Jerry Coleman. 0-1 is the count, and there is a little bunt. And this is another bad play by White as that one was popped up just short of the mound. That one he had caught, and it bounced out of his glove, and then he was not able to recover on time to even throw Coleman out at first. And so we've had a double by Mapes, followed by a very quick walk, and that was followed up by what was really another awful play by White, the pitcher, who's having a real hard time fielding his position. Counts as a base hit. Should have probably been an error if there was any justice in this world. We're going to bring the infield in on the corners. There's a ball in there to Hank Bauer now with the bases loaded. Another ball, 2-0 the count. And that curveball missed. 3-0 is the count, and there is the strike, 3-1. And it's 3-2 as Bauer fouled one off. There's one lifted up in the air, and that's foul. Still a full count on him. And there's ball 4 low and outside, and White walked in the run. And this is kind of what I was worried about. White is due to be up next. And the question is, can any of these guys play right field? I think Johnny Lindell can play right. No, he can play center. I'm looking at the wrong team. I'm looking at... let's see here. There we go. Chicago White Sox. I'm just going to see here if... here we go. We have Pat Siri who can play right. Pat Siri who had no hits and 4 times at bat in the real year. I guess the other question is, can Scala play right? He cannot. And so what we might be able to do, can we move Adams over to right? Yeah, let's move Adams over to right. We're going to put Scala in here playing center field. And then, whoops. We're going to have to try that again. My apologies. All right, here we go. So we're going to put him over to right field. And then, see, this is what happens if you're not paying attention. We want to put him, Scala, over here in the number 9 spot, playing center. And then we're going to look here at this bench and figure out what it is we're going to do. We're probably going to go ahead and put Fred Bradley in. I do this pretty frequently. Oh, no, he is a starter only. Okay, we don't want to use him in relief. I was going to say I do this pretty frequently where I will take a look and say, okay, well, which of these guys hasn't pitched much yet, and he's, I suppose, one of them. I mean, he only pitched 2 innings in real life. I'm probably never going to start him, to be honest. I mean, he has one game started. Let's go ahead and put him in. Even though he doesn't have a relief durability rating. I mean, the chances are that he's never going to pitch for us again. Fred Bradley up there now, bases loaded, and we're going to look for 2, just get out of the inning. Yogi Berra takes a ball, and there's another ball outside, 2-0 the count. And there's a fly over to Adams in right field. Woodling scores, and we're going to throw over to third base, try to get Coleman out, and we can't. And so it's now a 4-0 game, and here comes Bobby Brown with 1 out, and we're still playing for that double play. There's a strike in there to Brown. It's 0-1. Fouls one back, and it's 0-2 is the count. And there's a ball to him, 1-2. And that is one looping down the third base line, and that one is fair, and that's a single for Brown. Scores a run and sends Bauer over to third. That brings up Fred Sanford. We've had a lot of adventures here in this one, haven't we? Including trying to figure out how in the world we're going to get the lineup to work. Count now on Sanford's 0-2 as Bradley gets 2 quick strikes by him, and there's another strike and wild pitch. And the wild pitch allows the run to score and sends the runner on first base over to second. So that's an interesting play. That's kind of a rare play where the Sanford swung at a pitch that was way in the dirt, going golfing for it. It's not every day that you will see a strikeout with runners on first and third that results in a wild pitch and a run scoring. 6-0 rather, Yankees, and here comes Phil Rizzuto, takes a strike, 0-1 the count. And 1-1 is that one just missed low. There's a chopper behind the mound, and Appling grabs it and has no plan. Rizzuto is 3 for 5. Up comes Tommy Henrich, and I think I can see why Fred Bradley didn't last very long. 1-0, and now 1-1 is the count on Henrich, and there's one inside for a ball 2. 2-1 the count. That's fouled away. It's 2-2 now. There's a swing and a miss, and that's out number 3. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 6-0 now Yankees. White Sox really starting to fall apart there in that top of the 8th inning. 2-0 is the count now on Jerry Scala. There's one that's dribbled right back in front and out of play. 2-1 is the count now. That's fouled back. It's 2-2. And Sanford misses, his breaking ball misses, and there's a full count now, and that's on the inside corner, but they call that as strike 3. Scala had some words to say to the umpire after that one. Gus Zernial now takes a strike and a ball. 1-1 the count now on Zernial. And there's a ground ball over to Rizzuto that he can't get to, and Zernial ends up being the runner on first base. And here comes Herb Adams, hitting .362 so far this season, but over 3 today. There's a pass ball on Berra as that one got past him. Runner goes to second base. 1-2 is now the count on Adams, and it's still 1-2 as that one's fouled back, and there's a ground ball foul, just foul, 1-2 still, and there's a ground ball over to Brown, and he makes the play, throws over to first base. Zernial runs over to third and will be the runner on third, and here comes Goldsberry, and that's a little hit over to center field that drops right in front of Mapes for a base hit. Goldsberry gets the RBI, hit number 5 of this game for the White Sox. Up comes Don Wheeler with a runner on first base. The top of this White Sox order can hit. 0-1 is the count now on Wheeler, and there's a ball to him. It's 1-1. And there's a ground ball over to the left side, and Rizzuto grabs it, long throw to first base, and he makes it, and then we go to the top of the 9th. Here comes Cliff Mapes to lead off the top of the 9th, and he fouls one off. It's 0-1 is the count on him. There's another foul. 0-2 is the count. There's one that's outside for a ball, and it's 1-2, and that one swung on a miss, and Mapes waves at that outside pitch, and down he goes. Mapes looks like will probably end up 2 for 5 today unless something dramatic happens. Here's Gene Woodling, who swings and misses at that one for a strike. 0-1. Now it's 1-1, the count on him, and there's a ground ball up and through the middle for a base hit. How many hits has Bradley given up? Only 3 so far. It feels like it's been more. Jerry Coleman now fouls one back. 0-1 the count on him. There's a ground ball over to Appling, gets short, flips over to Michaels, but his throw to first base not in time. They only get 1. 2 outs now, and here comes Hank Bauer, takes a strike, and there's the ground ball up the middle again, and that's a base hit. Coleman able to make it all the way over to third base, and so here comes Yogi Berra with runners at the corners, and he hits one over to Adams in right field for the out, and we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and here comes Cass Michaels, 6-1 Yankees. Michaels takes a ball, and another ball, 2-0 the count. And that one's in the dirt and bounced, and the count is now 3-0. And there's ball 4, walk number 6 given up by Sanford, and here comes Floyd Baker. And there's a ball to Baker to lead him off, 1-0 the count, and that shaves the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. That one's too far inside, 2-1 is the count. There's a fastball in there for a strike, 2-2. There's a fly ball over to Hank Bauer, makes the first out, and here comes Luke Appling. Appling takes the ball inside. And another one high, 2-0 the count. Swings and misses at that one. It's 2-1. And there's a foul off Barrow's equipment, 2-2 now the count. And there's a ground ball over to Coleman, flips to Rizzuto, on to Henrik at first, and that completes the game. And there's the ball, there's the inning, and there's the ball game. Good performance by Fred Sanford, who overcomes 6 walks, gave up only 5 hits, pitched well overall, and only 1 run given up in the process. 6-1, the Yankees win this one is the final score. And the Yankees are starting to somewhat pull away in the American League as the Athletics, the Indians, and the Red Sox are all beating up on each other. These Yankees look good, and remember, Joe DiMaggio is still quite a ways away from coming back, but we'll see what happens when he does come back. I'll talk to you later. Bye.